Good morning and welcome to the Kent Battle of Britain Museum at Hawkinge. Today is Friday the 11th of December 2020, quite a year for all of us, but this time last year, a year ago today, these parts actually arrived at the museum. Julian, Tom and myself went to Duxford to collect them, and we also had delivery of the cowlings, the engine bearers and bits and pieces, the Merlin engines that were originally when this was converted to a Casa. That all arrived a year ago today. Obviously we're very proud of what we've achieved as a bunch of amateurs and volunteers, that in 12 months we've turned it back into what it should be, a Heinkel He III. As you can see, all these control surfaces are now operating, fully functioning, thanks to Anthony Austin, one of our keen volunteers, and done a lot of work on the actual Heinkel restoration. Obviously all this was in a terrible state. It had been outside in Spain for 30 years, following the flying in the Battle of Britain film in 1968. Moved over in 1997 to the Imperial War Museum at Duxford. Mark Hanna and Ray Hanna had bought it hoping to get it to fly. Sadly the main spar was too badly corroded to be usable, and then Mark sadly was killed in the Buchan accident in Spain. Ray died a couple of years later, and this became into the ownership of the Imperial War Museum. And because they've got over 100 aircraft currently waiting for restoration, it was languishing in the back of the hangar, caving outside at Duxford. So we were very lucky and fortunate to acquire this back in September last year. But obviously it took us a long time to organise to move it down here. So these parts, the tail section, the rudder, we collected a year ago today, and the other parts were delivered by Borley Brothers on behalf of the Imperial War Museum. And then in March, the fuselage arrived. Luckily, through lockdown, we were able to carry on with the aircraft. A few weeks I was by myself because of the lockdown, then other volunteers returned, and now we see what we see in front of us. The aircraft is painted to represent a Heinkel 111 that was shot down on the 15th of September 1940. It was attacking the Beckton Gasworks, shot down by several pilots, including a Canadian and a Czechoslovakian pilot. Tried to force land at the Woolwich Arsenal, hit a building, crashed and exploded. Most of the crew were lost. But this depicts this aircraft. The museum were allowed to excavate the crash site back, I think it was late 1996 from memory. Myself, Mike, the founder of the museum, and a couple of others were up there on the site. We were given a Friday afternoon and early evening to clear what we could. We found quite a lot of substantial pieces which are on show scattered around the museum to represent the aircraft, and obviously this is the full representation of what it would have looked like prior to being shot down and being destroyed. We hope very soon, hopefully, to acquire some additional land to erect a hangar, get this undercover with the Blenheim project and other aircraft we're trying to acquire at the moment. But what we also will do then is actually have a display with the artefacts that we excavated from the crash site back in the 1990s, which range from 2 MG15 machine guns, a large section of the lower fuselage leading to the gondola. We've got an undercarriage leg, quite a few panels of armour plates, and even some coins, some Fenwick coins that were found actually at the crash site. Unfortunately, that crash site now is part of the Thamesmead housing estate. We'll walk round to the front of the aircraft and show you a few more bits and pieces and update you on some of the progress we're making. I'm just going to duck underneath the wing. What we have here, we acquired from the Wings Museum down in Borkham, another museum well worth a visit. We acquired the 2 engine casings for UMO 211s back in June of this year. At the moment we're gradually restoring these. We've already got a pair of engine mounts, and in the last couple of weeks we've acquired another set. The engine mounting blocks that go on here to attach the engine mounts to. We've got a set of heads coming in from Germany, some pumps. We've got the water cooling jackets for both engines, and they should be arriving in the next couple of weeks. Anthony's been carrying on his excellent work. We've now actually exposed the original UMO bulkheads. Previously the actual bulkhead was here for when the aircraft was actually modernised in 1952, when the UMOs were taken off and it was actually converted to a Casa 211B. We have got to do some work on this. We are looking for replacement engine mounts, otherwise we'll try and adjust these, but we hope to mount these engines during the winter, and that's one of our main projects this winter, as well as with the Blenheim, we're trying to put the cockpit on and actually get her onto our undercarriage leg, trying to catch up what we've had a delay with the Blenheim project for the last year, obviously because we've been concentrating on this aircraft. We hope you enjoy this very short update of the aircraft. Keep following the Facebook page, keep looking at the website. There's a series of photographs on the restoration of the Heinkel as well as the Blenheim, so well worth a look. We wish you a happy Christmas and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.